Okay, for question number one, the first variable that affects the concentration of hormone in the blood is rate of secretion. So when an endocrine gland secretes more of a hormone, the concentration of that hormone increases in the blood as a result. And this depends on stimulatory signals and inhibitory signals, which basically tell the endocrine gland to release or not to release the hormone. Examples of these signals include ions such as calcium, which is released during exercise, substrates such as glucose, neurotransmitters such as acetylcholine, and then other hormones. So insulin is released from the pancreas, which causes blood glucose to increase during eating or at rest. And this acts as a stimulatory signal to the pancreas, basically telling it to release insulin. And we want insulin to be released because it helps us store our fuels. Glucose then moves into the liver or muscle and is stored as glycogen, and then it goes out of the blood, and this allows blood glucose to return to normal levels. If blood glucose decreases, such as during exercise, this sends an inhibitory signal to the pancreas telling it not to release insulin, and we don't want insulin to be released in this situation because we want fuel breakdown during exercise, not fuel storage. And then if insulin is inhibited when blood glucose decreases, then our blood glucose will return to a normal range. The second variable is rate of inactivation or excretion. This basically refers to the breakdown of a hormone. So if there's an increase in the rate of inactivation or excretion, it will decrease the concentration of the hormone in the blood. The main organs that help with inactivation and excretion with our hormones are our kidneys and liver. So the more active these organs are, the more inactivation or excretion will occur and hormone concentration will decrease. So during exercise, the liver and kidneys are getting less blood and therefore can't function as well compared to rest, and then so in turn less inactivation and excretion occur. And then the third variable is transport proteins. So these are in charge of transporting hormones throughout the blood. Basically, to have an effect on a tissue, a hormone needs to be free, which means it can't be bound to a transport protein, and this is known as the free hormone hypothesis. Some hormones, however, do need transport proteins to be taken to the correct spot, such as the thyroid hormone, for example. And then only free or unbound hormones can cross the membrane and have an effect on a tissue. The transport proteins release hormones. This is due to a negative feedback loop. So the amount of free hormone depends on the quantity of transport proteins we have in the blood, the capacity or the max number of hormones that can be bound to proteins, and then the affinity, which is how attracted a hormone is to the transport protein. So if the quantity, capacity, or affinity increase, the amount of free hormones decrease, which then decreases the effect of hormones and hormone concentration. So as exercise intensity increases, the concentration of transport proteins increase, and this is due to a decreased plasma volume, which is the fourth variable. So change in plasma volume is the fourth variable. As plasma volume decreases, the concentration of a hormone in the blood increases. So as exercise intensity increases, the plasma volume, which is the liquid portion, decreases regardless of pre or post training. And this is basically because water moves from blood to muscle more and more as exercise intensity increases. And we don't need as many hormones in our body to cause the same effect as we exercise at higher intensities because the plasma volume is decreasing.